Hey, today I want to talk about reticles. And I get this question fairly frequently, and it's something I encounter in classes a fair bit. Now, I'm talking about pistol red dots, and it's about which reticle to use. Now, this is an example of one of the red dots that's very simple. This is the Walmart SRO from C&H Precision. It is very functional. I have come to accept, like, yeah, I kind of like this one. It works. It's working for me, and it's cheap. Anyway, this thing's a red dot. That's all it does. And I like that. That's very simple. Now, the optic that I've been buying more of, and a lot of you have been buying more of, is this, the Holosun 507 Comp. This is, I think it's a very nice optic. It's reasonably priced. It has a nice big objective window. It's a good one, especially for competitive shooting. Now, as you can see here, there is, which one is this? The donut? I'm gonna turn it down a little. Yeah, so this is, I can't tell. This is the donut thingy. Anyway, this reticle, this Holosun, you hold down the minus button for a little while, 5 seconds. There we go. And it'll turn to something else. I think it just added a little thingy in the center. Hold it down again. Now it's just turned back into a red dot. This thing has tons of reticles built in. I did a little drawing, all of these. Dot, horseshoe, big horseshoe, brackety, circly thing, horseshoe with dot in it, circle with open bottom and dot in it, dot and brackety, circly thing, all of the things turned on here, all the way on the side. This one has tons of options, and I think it's super dope that they're on there, and it's cool that you can change the thingy and make it into a different reticle. That having been said, I don't use any of that shit. I just used the conventional red dot. Okay, and that's what I recommend people is, hey, dude, just use the dot. I like a small dot. I don't like a 5 or 8 MOA dot. 1, 2, 2.5, whatever. That's more my speed. And let me show you why. Here we have the dot is, now I just increase the brightness. Now the red dot appears a little bit bigger, and it's obviously far brighter. Turn down the brightness and it appears to get smaller and less apparent depending on the distance that I'm shooting. I will tend to favor the red dot being brighter because I'm just going to be reactive to color at those distances. Okay. People are always asking, like, well, which one should I use? I've tested them pretty extensively, and I just fall back to use the red dot, use the small red dot, because that gives me what I want, and I'm trained to be so reactive to color that if we go to, here, let's change it. Change it while I'm talking here. If I go to one of the bigger reticles, one of the more complex ones, here's big horseshoe. All right, got it at big horseshoe. Turn it down, and now it's just acting sort of like a big red dot, you know? It just gets bigger and bigger. So to me, like, I appreciate that they put all those options on here, but for the pistols, I have the best success with just the smallest red dot that I can, and I adjust the brightness as and when I feel it's necessary. The bigger, more complicated reticles, they don't really do anything useful for me on a pistol, and I've tested it a fair bit. If you make it just like like the bigger the reticle gets, especially at close range, I just start being reactive to the color, and it's just more. It doesn't really help, you know what I mean? Then at distance, if it's one of the ones like this, where it's like dot inside of circle, that's where I start getting kind of annoyed, because it's like, I want the bullet to go to a very particular spot. So if I'm shooting at 20 yards, now it's basically, when I'm using it quickly, it just acts like an 8 MOA dot, even though it's not. It's a complex reticle. If it's one of these over here, like, these get weird because I'll be zeroed on one part of this thing, and it's more difficult to get it lined up to where I want. Now, I know people have varying opinions about this, but I think that I'm not really unique or alone in the preference to say, dude, just make it the simple red dot, and you'll adjust with the brightness. Now, the rifles is a different story. It is. There's depending on the application or the type of optic you have, type of scope, whatever, there's lots of applications for different reticles. But on the handguns, I haven't really found that. And it's like, I just do the best making it something very simple, make it the little red dot, and then shoot that way. So if you're curious which reticle I use the dot. That's the one I have the best success with. And I think that's, I wouldn't call it a consensus, but that'd probably be the majority opinion.